the travel experience, and also to build relationships and the networking that comes with that. I would be jealous. I'd love to go to Pompeii. So, but I think this is great. I'm sure the committee have a lot of concerns about cost, and we're always worried about cost and equity and access to the trip. But as long as you have a solid plan for trying to engage as many kids that are interested, I think I'm happy with that.
Anyone else? No? Well, when I was in high school, we went to Benson's Wild Animal Farm up in southern
He's
New
still
Hampshire.
there.
It's still there?
Yeah.
It was
You're
good.
still there.
It was fun. Okay. Anybody else? John, do you want to add anything?
No, I would just say that our experience with EF has been very positive the last 2 trips, so I'm very confident that they will continue to work well with us if the trip is approved.
I agree with Karen. I think culturally it's a
I think
fantastic,
it's a fabulous opportunity.
fantastic trip.
As I'm listening to the itinerary again.
It's, yeah, I can see the merits.
We do feel pretty strongly that for the educational portion of the trip too, that a number of about 2 dozen, which would also afford us 4 chaperones. We will have 1 chaperone for every 6 students on the trip, which I think is a good thing, and I'd like to have a combination of male and female chaperones to travel with. We do think that for the educational purpose of discussion, and there's a lot of follow-up too. I mean, students who have gone on the trips in the past come back to the school, and there's a lot of post-trip activities that go on. I think that with the number of 24, or maybe even more than that, if we're able to do that, is a good thing. Anything less than that, we're not confident that the trip would be the full experience that we would want.
Yeah, I've never heard a negative comment about one of the trips. The kids seem to love them and have a great
We've
time.
had very good luck, and the company is excellent to work with, and it's a lot of planning and a lot of work on the teachers' parts to do this. And but I think in the end, the experience has been very, very good.
Well, it's on my bucket list before I die. The closest I've gotten is the Venetian in Las Vegas, but I hope to maybe get out there. Okay, we need to take a vote if there's no further input from the committee. I hear a motion
I'd like to make a motion to approve the Italian trip.
in a second. I'll second it. We have a motion by Ms. Arricchetti, second by the chair. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
Motion carries by a vote of 4 to 1. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks. All right, continuing to take the agenda out of order.
Chaos.
Next, we have the school improvement plan. Unless otherwise decided, I would go by seniority, which. Oh, you all doing it together?
Yes.
Oh, come on up, that's even better, come on up. We have Mr. Colleen, Mr. McKay, and Ms. Molly here. Huh?
We have 5 minutes.
5 minutes? I don't think we can make it.
No, they have 5 minutes.
Oh, okay, all right. I thought you meant until the game. That's right, I remember this from last year.
While they're setting up, I'll just set the stage. You may recall that school improvement plans for this year were approved this fall as opposed to last spring due to all of the transitions that were taking place at the administrative level. And so now we're back on schedule. We'll bring them forward in the spring for approval prior to the beginning of the school year. So this week, we have the 3 elementary principals, and then at the next school committee meeting, we have middle school and high school.
It's about a foot. Fabulous. That's totally fine, I mean, as long as we can see it. Mel, can you see the presentation?
Sorry.
You're all right.
Ready?
Hi. Hi, everybody.
Good evening.
Chris.
Nice to see you.
It's always a pleasure. Are we going to click? Priority number 1 for the North Reading Public Schools elementary leadership team has always been low class size. It's been our number 1 priority, and each year as we develop our individual school improvement plans and gather data, student-teacher ratios are always the number 1 concern. We firmly believe that the single best way to provide a quality education is by maintaining small class size. The community's expectations of teachers, students, and schools have increased steadily in many ways. Some of the increased expectations are created through changes in the law, such as No Child Left Behind and Massachusetts education reform, while others have been necessitated by the increased complexity of the world in which we live. Meeting these expectations requires the increased teacher attention to students that a small class size allows. The North Reading Public Schools recognizes and values the importance of class size and composition as important factors that contribute to student success. The North Reading School Committee's target class size is always reflected upon during our annual staffing reports. For kindergarten through grade 2, our target has been less than 20 students per class. And for grades 3 through 5, less than 22 students per class.
So just some class size statistics. We're proud to report that all of the classrooms at the Batchelder School meet the expectation of class size. For the upcoming school year in grades K through 2 at the Hood School, we are within the guidelines as well. Class size in grades 3 through 5 ranges from 20 to 24, so it's a bit above, but acceptable range. The E at the Little School, 100%, with the exception of 23 students in the full-day kindergarten for next year. We'd like to thank the school committee, as well as the other members of the leadership team, for making this possible. You know, it's always a topic of discussions, particularly in budget conversations, but this is something that we value and we hold true to, so thank you for your efforts to maintain these low class sizes. And then each one of us is going to talk a little bit about segments of our school improvement plan, so I'll start off with the Hood School. As you know, our faculty and the school community, we preach that hand in hand together we can, and we really believe that we can meet all of the goals of our school working together collaboratively. I'd just like to take a moment to recognize 2 members of my school council who are in the audience, Ms. Audra Mayuski and Mrs. Laurie McGrath. Thank you for all your efforts this year. You create a great document, and you'll definitely make some significant changes at the Hood School for the betterment of the whole school community, so thank you for your efforts. Just some highlights from last year's school improvement plan. We really focused on data analysis and how we utilize that to inform our instruction at the Hood School. We talk a lot about DRA scores, MCAS scores, GATE scores, and benchmark assessments, and I think that really drives what we're doing right now. MCAS remediation, tuition free, was offered for 30 students per session in the areas of English language arts and mathematics. We implemented 90-minute literacy blocks in grades 1 through 4, and that was a big challenge for us with the schedule, so we're proud to accomplish that. We utilized professional learning community study groups, and we'll get a little bit more in detail on that as we go through the goals. As you know, we updated our dismissal procedures at the Hood School. We started off with the community-wide survey, got some great feedback and created. I'm happy to say that it's been a huge success. We have continued to increase technology for communication. I actually have an interesting little number here. We sent out 60 school-wide communications over the school year. We have 20 families to get what we call hard copy friends, so they get the paper. With those 60 communications, we actually saved 22,980 sheets of paper by going with the website and the email. So Nice. it's pretty interesting. I'm intrigued by looking at that. This year, we took our school-wide SRR, our safe, responsible, and respectful behaviors, off to the next level, the next stage of implementation, which was the High Five Wall of Fame, which we talked about at the Hood School presentation. And, you know, we continue to be proud of our focus on literacy and our school-wide assembly around Read Across America Day and Dr. Seuss's birthday. It's always a great event. So, to continue forward with the goals for 2011-2012, number 1 goal is to improve student achievement. Top priority. Second goal is to continue to implement our philosophy of working together as a learning community. Goal number 3 is to provide a safe learning environment for all children, free of ridicule, where children will be able to express themselves freely. And we want to maintain those strong relationships and partnerships with the school committees, school parents association, school council, school staff, and the school community at large. go through some highlights of each one of the goals. Number one goal, to improve student achievement in core subject areas. We really spent a lot of time this year breaking down what student achievement looks like at the Hood School and setting measurable benchmarks. So, in literacy, we want to continue to refine our response to intervention model. We're going to implement flexible groupings in grade 1, implement foundations in grade 1, K and 1, and conduct formal grade 1 data meetings. So that's when we're all going to be able to sit down and look at the progress or lack of progress that's being made and make informed decisions based on data. Math, we've set measurable benchmarks. All students will improve in achievement on both formal and informal assessment of math skills and math knowledge. Social studies, all students will improve the achievement on both formal and informal assessments in the area of social studies and science. What we really want to do is adopt a curriculum map based on the Science Council's recommendations, utilize our stormwater runoff grant to improve stormwater flow and educate the student population on this topic, and include science MCAS prep for grade 5 in the MCAS remediation program in the second session. Goal number 2 is to continue to implement our philosophy of working together as a learning community. Every year we sit down at the first faculty meeting and we brainstorm out and talk about our school's mission and vision for learning. And we rewrite it, or we make a motion to keep it the same. This year we spent a lot of time rewriting it and talking about what we envision our students to become. And the second part of that goal is to continue to implement our PLC study groups to determine best practices. Basically, at the Hood School, what we do is some of the faculty meetings we break up into what we call study groups, and each teacher is responsible to join a study group and research a topic on best practices and report back to the school at large and make changes to the school based on the recommendations. This year we went with our school-wide behavior, which was the safe, responsible, respectful, hand-in-hand together we can behavior plan. We have a group working on our response to intervention model who's taken a lot of nice trips over to Reading to see some models in action over there. We have a group working on caring for the whole child. We have a data analysis team that focused this year on math and science. We have a character education group that has gotten together and had some fundraisers for families in need, as well as done food collection for the food pantry, etc. And we also have a group working on technology and its impact on learning, advising us on how to spend any technology funds that we may have at the school. Goal number 3, provide a safe learning environment for all children, free of ridicule, where children will be able to express themselves freely. We want to continue to promote that hand-in-hand together we can behavior plan and recognize students on that high 5 wall of fame. We have our nurse and our physical education teacher working together collaboratively to deal with any infection control or talking to the kids about proper hand washing, how to cover a cough. We also have our anti-bullying program. We use peer proof in grade 4, and we talk a lot about our open circle curriculum. And we want our teachers all to be trained in our open circle curriculum and incorporate that training into their practice. And lastly, we want to continue to maintain those strong relationships and partnerships with the school committee, school parents association, school councils, and school staff and school community at large. We have spent a lot of time under the new curriculum leadership model talking about roles and responsibilities, and we're instituting a parent information sharing night. We're not sure how that's going to look right now, but we want to have a night back where families get to see each area of the curriculum and talk about the curriculum and have background knowledge given to them on that. That'll all be done by survey, so figure out what the teachers think they should be presenting and what the families would like to see, and have those discussions. We want to increase communications. We've actually put a principal's blog and Twitter onto the school website, and that's something that we're going to be exploring more next year as that technology goes forward. We'll maintain a comprehensive literacy card. I believe you've seen that at a previous school committee meeting that we roll out every time parents are in the building. It has updated best practices and a lot of information for parents. We're composing our summer newsletter to parents that will go onto that card as well. We continue our, I talked about the green team, but we'll continue our Going Green efforts at the Hood School, and want to utilize that school-wide email and websites as the primary communication tool. And we want to continue to have those school-wide events that involve various stakeholder groups and invite everybody in there and make that the center of the community. For example, our Read Across America Day.